A very good morning to everybody, once again. It's a great pleasure to see lots of new faces. And we are StarWind. So for the guys who know us, we are still doing what we've been doing before. And for the new guys, just an introduction, we are a company that does hyperconvergence for SMB and ROBO. And today we're going to bring in something comparably, let's say, comparably new for us, but it's not something which is 100% new for the industry. So it won't be any kind of the smoke and mirrors. It won't be any kind of, I don't know. This is the real cool stuff nobody knows what to do with, and here we are. That's going to be a virtual tape library, and the tag of this presentation is from dusk till dawn. And when we'll dive a little bit deeper into actual deck, you'll see why this couple of words actually make a lot of sense. So here we go. So who are we and what we do? We pioneered software-defined storage in around 2003 when there was no such term like that. Except, fiber channel, there was not that many of the companies that were trying to do storage over IP because there was no standards at that point. iSCSI just appeared, and we've been probably the first guys who brought iSCSI tech to Windows, or maybe one of those, but whatever. Not that much of the crowded space. So we still do software-defined storage, big surprise. We also do the thing that is get completely, completely crowded, which is hyperconvergence, and we also do a classic storage. In our case, it was a very reasonable movement because initially for the majority of the people, taking commodity servers and then putting software-defined storage stack on top of them combined with a hypervisor was too much of the lifting, and getting the what's called the ready nodes and everything was tested and configured and provisioned by one single vendor. Did make a lot of sense. It turns out that the history is repeating itself right now, and lots of companies are moving back from the idea of the hyperconvergence to having separate what's called the storage nodes, and also going back to commodity servers with the hypervisors and everything configured by them alone. So we still do both, depending on the customer needs. And also we do the virtual tape library, which we go into focus during this deck. This is a kind of introduction so you can understand what else we do. We have a strict focus on small and middle business and enterprise robo, which is remote office and branch office. And it turns out that I need an explanation over here why we mix SMB and ROBO into the same group. SMB and enterprise ROBO, yeah. So SMB customers and everybody in the world has a very different description of what SMB is. We see an SMB starting with a mom and dad shop, something like 10 and 15 seats, and going up to maybe 250. That's our typical sweet spot and an explanation of what we see being in a small and middle business. And these guys have a very, very, let's say, very well-known documented problems or issues because they're typically very budget sensitive. And also these guys do not have a lot of the super talented IT staff, or alternatively, if the guys dealing with IT within these companies are good, they have too many things to focus on, so they're just bored like hell with different routine tasks. So they lean on human resources for IT. An enterprise robo, which seems like they don't have financial issues, and it seems like they also should be having a big IT departments. For robo location, they're hidden exactly the same underwater stones SMB guys do, because you can't have an experienced and well-paid technician in every McDonald's or every Macy's department store, even small one. You have to manage the whole thing remotely, and you absolutely need it to be running into self-pilot mode as long as possible. The same about the budget. Every single saved dollar had to multiply it on tens and hundreds, because there are multiple locations. So the better optimized configuration is, less money is left on the table. That's why we see that enterprise robo and SMB guys are exceptionally, are pretty much the same in terms of the issues they're experiencing. Okay, so let's.
Do you find that the
Sure.
robo environments are less pristine IT I've seen things like where they'd be on ships. They could be in in the middle of the Gobi Desert, wellheads and things like that. Is there a special requirements for your systems in order to be able to support those sorts of extreme environments?
That's a very good question, actually, because we have customers who do in oil and gas, and we have exactly the customers who are doing ships, and there's no internet connection, and the whole thing has to be highly redundant, and absolutely it puts more of the pressure on the actual configuration. So the situation when you have a 4-hour service available on next business day delivery for the breaking parts is one thing. But if it's a ship put in the cable, it just cannot move from where it is, and the 100% uptime is critical, and that's why we have to design the whole systems, thinking about so it should survive not single, not multiple, not dual, but multiple failures for compute, for storage, and for so on. The same goes about the backups. Because if there is no connection, no full-time or no internet connection, or satellite link is good for receive but not very good to send the data, it's slow. It means we do have a very short, let's say, windows to see the data back to, let's call it, central location where the backups organize it. Which means that the usage of the channel has to be extremely efficient.